Oh, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome. This is episode 77. This is the update, the Muncie City Council update episode, the first meeting since the election. Muncie City Council meeting update and more, episode 77. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into that. I saw that there were some other people asking that. We'll have to ask. Give me just 1 second here, and we'll get to all of that. We do have some breaking news straight off the bat. Before we do anything, this actually came to me last night. And Brando was so mad. He was like, if you don't show this tonight, I am leaving. So we do have some breaking news straight away before we do anything, before we get into anything. Our good friend, and I say that with all sarcasm in the world, J.D. Prescott has been acting up. Apparently, something's happened, and he has just recently went global. J.D. Prescott, of course, if you don't know J.D. Prescott, if you're tuning in, if this is the first night watching this episode, watching this show, J.D. Prescott, of course, is a state representative here in the state of Indiana. He is one of our state representatives, District 33, which the new district, God, I always forget, is Blackford County, part of Jay County, part of Delaware County, part of Henry County, and all of Randolph County. So that's his district. He has made global news. He's went worldwide, and I guess he's been being talked about in France. He's been being talked about in Italy. He's been being talked about in Ireland, of course, in Australia, Japan. But we received one of these transmissions from Spain, and while I do not speak Spanish in any way, we do have some researchers here on staff that are fluent in Spain. And so we are now going to take you right to this clip of these two presenters talking about J.D. Prescott. This is just about a minute and 40 seconds in length. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here we go straight away to the Spanish news on J.D. Prescott. Oh, good Lord. So that was J.D. Prescott there, live from Spain. So, you know, it is what it is there. If you want to see that, if you want to watch that, that is on our channel. You can go and look at that along with another short. I guess Brando was in a JD kind of mood this past weekend. So, okay. Now, with that out of the way, and having fulfilled my obligation to Brando, I now want to bring on someone that used to be a friend of mine, but someone is now more or less an enemy of the show, and this is Mr. Audie Barber.
Yeah. Some fucking friend you been. You won't even cry for me on your show, dude.
You loser.
I'm a loser. You picked me as a winner, and you made me a loser.
It was me. I did it.
It was all your fault because I came on your show.
Yes. You were going to win, but then you came on here. You should have been more like Sarah or Jeff Green or Nora Powell.
Yep. You know, you really disappointed me. You didn't come on Wednesday and have a big pity party for me.
Yes.
We didn't sit down and cry together because I lost.
I'm in the middle of the fence.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm still councilman number 10. So
Councilman number 10. Did somebody say that to you?
I made it up myself. You know, you got football teams that got the
Yes.
12th man, like
You're the 12th man.
I may coin that and use that as councilman number 10.
You're
Let anybody else use it.
I've never heard that. I like that. You're the 10th counselor. I can deal with that.
I can deal with it.
Yeah,
Hell,
10th counselor, Mr. Audie Barber.
I can't raise as much hell on the council. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could. But it is what it is, and we move on from here. And
don't say
yeah,
it is what it is, and you'll run again in 4 years. Because if you say that, you'll be someone that will be, it'll be like, how dare you not take this serious? Like,
I took it real serious. Trust me, I took it real serious.
Hell yeah, this was yeah. I said, and I don't know if those people or anyone else missed. I think that you've ran before, obviously. You ran for council once before, and you ran for a couple of other things, and you ran for those other things more or less just to kind of get your name out and be part of it. You're not majorly involved in the county. You pay attention to what goes on, but you didn't run because you want to specifically be on the county. You wanted to get the experience of running and doing all of this.
Right.
This was your first real race, in my opinion.
Yeah, because in the past, when I ran 4 years ago for city council, nobody knew who I was.
Right.
They had no clue. I signed up in February, a week before the deadline, and it is what it is.
Yeah, right.
But I have been told by some people, way up in certain offices and stuff, that I am making a difference. People are learning the rules because of me, and I'm making change, and I'm not even on the council. So
that's absolutely true, and that's what someone said on here last night, and that's very true. And I used to say it more than I say it now, and I just hate saying it because I don't want people to think I'm talking about myself necessarily, but there are more ways to make change than being on the council. Sometimes being on the council kind of ties your hands in a little bit of a way. Right now, if someone from, if someone in Newcastle asks for your help, or if someone in Madison County asks for help or whatever, you've got time that you could go and devote for other stuff, to where if you were a Muncie city councilor and you were devoting, weeks of time on some place from Anderson or someone from Gaston or something, people would be like, wait a minute, why are you not devoting that time to Muncie? So in this way, you're able to devote time to Muncie, and you're able to kind of do whatever. And in a lot of ways, there's a lot of other ways to make change. There's a lot of other ways to be involved and to be active. And you definitely are definitely doing that.
Chris, I got 3,164 votes, almost 3,200 votes.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing to be ashamed of.
No. You were only 300 votes away from third place.
Right. And people don't understand 300 votes. Well, that sounds like a lot. It's not really that many.
No, it's not.
Had we had more Democrats come out, we might have had a better turnout. We might have had something different. But I do want to congratulate Norma Norman for running one hell of a race. She was the top vote getter on the Democrat ticket this time.
Yes. Big man trying. No, Dan is the new mayor-elect. Dan won re-election. But Norma Norman, quiet, kind of mousy, in squared, she received more votes than any other candidate, any other Democratic candidate.
Any other contested race on the Democrat.
Yeah.
So, and I want to make sure that she tries it again in 4 years. I'm not going to let her give up. She almost gave up. And I called her and I said, Norma, don't do that. Don't give up. And so, you know, for a lady that got up on stage and was very stage fright and seemed a little backwards, but you get her off the side and she talks just fine.
Oh,
she
yeah.
gets nervous up there at a forum like that. She did a job. I think all the candidates did a hell of a job. You know, we only had 4 seats that didn't get filled, 5.
Yeah.
So, you know, you had 2 council members that didn't get on at large.
Is this the first time you've been on since the election?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. That's cool.
Wednesday you did the results, and I was pretty tired that night.
You had Tuesday.
I was asleep by 6:30 that night. And,
okay.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And Thursday, I think you had some problems with your grandma, and then Friday you had your kidney stone or whatever, and
yeah. Okay, so this is the first time you've been on.
You know, so, it breaks my heart that you can go 24 hours without talking to me from time to time, but not much. 4 hours you can't go without me.
We're just not truly the friends that some people thought we were.
Well, it really hurts me when you don't answer my phone calls, or if you're busy doing something else and you don't take my phone call. That really
listen, there's not such a thing as not taking this man's phone call. If he calls, there's 2 ways. There's 2 ways that Audie calls. He calls once, and if you don't answer, then you will hear from him again sometime within the next hour. Or he'll call you and hang up, and then call you and hang up and call you. And if you don't answer on that second or third time, he's calling Sarah and he's calling people. That son of a bitch, if he don't answer, what's wrong with him when I call? He needs to answer me. And so
we got a code that if it's really, really, really urgent, call back the second time you answer.
So. Call back the second time. And I've done that, have I not?
Yes, you have.
And sometimes on that second, I'm like, what do you want, Audie? But he'll be like, well, hey, listen. No, Audie did not win either. That's what we're going through. No, Audie did not win.
I can't believe you were my friend and defended me on Wednesday, Chris. Maybe I could cry like Dan.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Charlize, I don't know if I have your phone number or not, but I think I got all the new councilmen's phone numbers tonight. I got that one guy from District 1 that won by 9 votes.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got his cell phone number.
Interesting.
So, and I told him, I said, if you're going to be my representative, if you're going to be a representative on council, I want your phone number.
Did he do that through a series of were you guys passing back and forth like Braille or sign language? I didn't know he talked.
No, I walked up to him. You know, he talked a little bit tonight. Some of the stuff
he did
quite make sense, but I think he realized that maybe he should have thought about what he was talking about, because there's certain stages of rezoning and stuff you got to go through, and this gentleman that was trying to get these properties of his rezoned was going through the first stage of it. It was, you know, premature for Mr. Green to ask them questions, but he'll know next time. So anyhow,
as you know, you live and you learn.
So we can go over this council meeting tonight. It wasn't that eventful. I do want to go on the record to say, I guess I shouldn't have pointed Councilman Troy Ingram out, and I want to apologize right now. That was a 5-4 at the end of the meeting there. I talked about the 5-4. A lot of people don't understand, but if most of the people that's followed understand that the Republicans always told Troy, remember 5-4.
Remember 5-4. 5-4. Never forget.
5-4. Never forget.
Listen, they were seriously, after that firehouse vote, they were seriously saying that like in the same way that people say like never 9/11, never forget. Yeah. They were seriously saying like the firemen will never be the same. I mean, it was ridiculous what they were doing.
Okay, here's my intake on the firemen.
Yeah.
The firemen, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of them will be leaving, Keith.
Yeah. Tell this and we'll go through that.
We'll go through. But here's my thought on the bot, okay? I said this before, and we're going to see if it holds up or not. The bot was a ploy for Ridenour to come out and say, look, they voted this down. They voted this down. They tabled this as a political stunt to use that ammunition against Robinson, okay? Yep. I believe that because they knew that if they're going to bring this bot and have the same information on it that the solar field had, that it was going to get voted down or tabled. So they went ahead and done that. They've tabled it. Now it's probably not going to come off the table. Ask Audie if he thinks Troy Delaney should be terminated before he gets 20 years in February. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But anyhow, so that was tabled. It's got to lay on the table 6 months. If it don't come off the table in 6 months by this old council or the new council, April, it'll be dead. So that ties Ridenour's hands of building a fire station until after April. Then they can turn it out for bids because they can't do it through the bot because they got to wait a whole year after that. So there goes another year and 4 months. If he turns it out for bids, he's going to say, well, I don't have the money. If I don't have the money, I gave you guys a 10% raise. We can't build you a fire station. Here's what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen with that fire station number 6. It's going to continue to be fire station number 6 unless somebody on the council steps up. This is just my prediction. Unless somebody on the council steps up and makes him do something with that fire station. This is my prediction. I may be wrong, but I will say that I did see a crane at Southway Plaza the other day. I didn't have time to investigate it, but I did notice that they were putting some HVAC units on top of Southway Plaza. So maybe we can get something done with that. Once again, there was I seen 5 of the new elected councilmen at the meeting tonight. There was one that wasn't there, but somebody said he'd come in a little bit late, but I don't know that for sure. So plus the 3 that was already seated on the council. We had no mayor again tonight.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. Let's take this one at a time. So first of all, Keith Martz wanted to know which council members will be leaving. So currently the council's made up of Jeff Green, District 1, Jeff Robinson, District 2, Brandon Garrett, District 3, Brad Marshall, District 4, Jerry Dishman, District 5, Roger Overby, District 6, and then your 3 at large are Aaron Clark, Troy Ingram, and Rose Selvey. Now, of those people that I just named, I want to say Robinson, Dishman, and Ingram are the only people who were elected in 19.
Correct.
Jeff Green is a caucused or appointed person to fill a vacancy. Brandon Garrett is someone that's caucused to fill a vacancy. Brad Marshall is the second person that's been caucused to fill that vacancy. It was first Isaac Miller, then he stepped down, then Brad Marshall. Roger Overby was caucused to fill a vacancy. Rose Selvey was caucused to fill a vacancy. So Aaron Clark, I forgot. Aaron Clark, Troy Ingram, Jerry Dishman, Aaron, Troy, Dishman,
and Robinson.
And Jeff Robinson are your only ones that were elected in 19. So of that and right there, that's a 5-4 council. 5 Republicans and 4 Democrats. Your 4 Democrats being Roger Overby, or District 6 council's position was Democrat. District 5 was Democrat. District 3 was Democrat, and District 2 was Democrat. But this new next year in January, it will go 6-3. 6 Democrats, 3 Republicans.
And only 1 district will be a Republican, and then 2 at-large Republicans, and that's all the Republicans. So that's going to be remember this vote, 6-3 vote.
6-3.
We will always
6-3.
Yes,
always remember 6-3.
Troy Ingram knows I love him.
Yeah.
Troy knows he's got my support.
So, okay. So, yes, Green, in my opinion, Jeff Green is a party hack. That's fair until he shows otherwise, and he hasn't so far. He's been basically dead straight down the line. I think there's been one time he's not voted with Ridenauer. But basically that's been it.
But I think he can be, he told me he was a preacher up in Newcastle.
He is.
He needs to talk to Sproles up there for a little bit and see if he.
But
I think now that he's been elected, and he only won by 9 votes, so he's got to he's got to listen to people.
Yeah,
and he's vote the way the constituents want, because that's what they need to vote, how they need to vote.
Well, Keith Martz, they will. You'll hear it here first. First of all, they decide that amongst themselves in January, but I wholeheartedly believe. First of all,
what was it? Who's going to be president?
Who's going to be president? But before we get there, let's talk about who will be coming on.
So Chris, wait.
Yeah.
So when you do that, you need to read that stuff to me so I know what you're saying.
I'll put those up there. Yeah, I'll make sure we'll put those up there so you can see them.
Yes.
So Jeff Green is going back into District 1. District 2, Jeff Robinson will be coming away, and Nora Powell will be taking District 2 over. She's a Democrat, so that's a Democrat going in for a Democrat. So Jeff Green's a Republican. District 2 will be filled by Nora Powell, and that's horrible. District 3 is Brandon Garrett. He is a Democrat. District 4, that's a toss-up right now, because currently, as we sit here today, a Democrat, Sarah Gullion, won that by 5 votes.
5 votes.
But I think this week we will see that this will be challenged. And I think that it will remain the same.
I think they got till the 21st or the 24th to challenge
they have 14 days, 14 business days.
And then the chairman have to put their paperwork in for it too. So,
yeah. But we will see a challenge. But if we're going on how it is today, Brad Marshall will be coming off. He's a Republican. And then Democrat Sarah Marshall will be filling that. So the Democrats pick up that seat. District 5 is Jerry Dishman. He's a Democrat. He will retain his seat. And then District 6, Democrat Roger Overby will be coming off. And Democrat Harold Mason will be taking his place. Rose Selby will retain her at-large seat. And in what I see as a win, Councilman Republican Aaron Clark will be coming off. He's a Republican, but you're filling him back, that role, with Dale Basham. And so Aaron Clark is probably right now Dan Ridenauer's largest supporter. And what will happen is you'll feel that with Dale Basham, and he'll be more of a supporter for Ridenauer than Aaron Clark even is.
And here's the thing. Where's Aaron Clark going to end up? Is he going to end up Marcy? Will he be
I could see him taking a role. He'll take some kind of role in the administration. There's no way he doesn't do that.
Right.
There's no way. So people who are like, oh, Aaron Clark's out. Now we'll get to talk about how it's such a, it won't be a conflict because he won't be voting, but look, his family will still be taking over. So it is what it is. And then unfortunately, we'll be losing a Republican, Troy Ingram. And in that position, Democrat William McIntosh will be going in.
Right. And here's the thing. Rose showed her colors tonight. She's going to.
Oh, dude. She needs to pull back on that. That's ridiculous.
Every time she opened her mouth, she said, I just want to be transparent. I just want to be transparent.
Oh, yeah. There's no transparency with Ro.
No.
And she's lost. That ship has sailed with me. But I'm telling you, every time something didn't go her way, she rolled her eyes. I don't know I asked her one time I asked her once if she pays it, if she ever goes back and watches the meetings, and she's like, no, hardly never. And I said, you need to go back and watch.
Yep.
because you roll your eyes and it looks horrible.
Horrible.
Oh, Councilman Webb, it was just tonight. It was a council meeting, and it was basically blah. Nothing really happened, but Rose showed her ass again a couple times towards the end.
And once again, we had no mayor there again tonight. So
yeah, well, he's had. So I want to say on election day, at his speech on election day when he won, like he had to use a chair to hold himself up, and he said that he had like thrown up like 6 times. He was like, I've thrown up 6 times since 1 o'clock. And I've heard he's been sick since. Now, tonight, they're saying food poisoning. He's got food poisoning. I don't know anybody that has food poisoning for a week, a solid week. That's nuts. What are you eating?
And here's the thing. I was told tonight that the Republican Party thought it was going to be like a 59-31. That the Republican Party was going to get their ass handed to them. But we see how the voters turned out.
They did. They did get their ass handed to them. They lost the council. Dan Ridenour has his seat. That's all he cares about.
About all he's got.
What?
That's about all he's got. And
he's got a council seat with Nora Powell on it.
And then
that's not good.
Then you had Del Basham up there singing that when he found out he won, he was up there singing and I said, "What are you doing?" Well, we won. No, they told him, "No, Del, we didn't. We don't have a council."
Yes, yeah.
We made one council, but we don't have a council of Republicans.
Yeah. I heard his bow tie was spinning and everything. Yeah.
But there was a lot of Dan addicts at the council meeting tonight. A lot of Dan addicts.
Oh yeah.
Now, Stilts wasn't there.
Okay.
But he had quite a few Danatics there. There was 2 or 3 department heads there. None of the firemen were there. Imagine that. None of the policemen were there.
Well,
Chief wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, pretty mundane, pretty laid back council. They had some nominations for human rights, and one was a Kim Miller and one was Elizabeth Edgell, and Jeff was the deciding vote on that vote. So,
I honestly thought that Edgell was I thought she was gonna edge that out. I thought she was gonna get it.
Yep. So, it is what it is.
Fantastic. Also, Keith Martz on so the council will vote amongst themselves. And what's been weird the last couple of years, the last 3 years, is with a Republican council, a Democrat has been president. So you've had a 5-4, 5 Republican, 4 Democrat lead. And with a swing vote, and listen, with a swing vote, because it was the right thing to do. I think Jeff was the best president that the council could have had. I mean, honestly, like, look, could you imagine having Rose Selvey? Could you imagine putting Isaac Miller? They wanted Isaac Miller to be in the leadership. He was there for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, right.
Like, are you for real? I mean, that's ridiculous. So,
well, besides Jerry Dishman,
the
only one that's got any experience on the council is going to be who you're going to.
Yeah, it's going to be Nora Powell. I think the council president is going to be Nora Powell, unless now listen, if she's strategic, she would come in and say, "I don't want that." She wants it. Let's be serious. She wants it.
But if she takes it, then that takes her off the finance committee, I think, don't it?
No, Jeff's on the finance committee.
That's true. That's true.
Now, I'm going to push that this council, and I don't care what Nora's thoughts are, this council needs to stick with the 9-person finance committee, doing it the way they're doing it, and not giving Nora and 2 other people or whoever, any 3 people, that power. The whole council needs to hear that out. And that's going to be my parting message to them. Webb asked if there were the newly elected council members that were there. Nora was there. Of course, Jeff Green was there. He's on the council.
8 of them were there. I seen 8 people there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Who
And
wasn't?
I told that Harold Mason come in after it started,
Okay, but didn't see him. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's the only one that I did not see. I seen everybody else. Sarah Gallion was there. Nora Powell was there. Billy Mack was there. Then you had Brandon on the council.
Garrett could be president, but you got to think about this. You got to think about this, Brandon or Webb, Ryan. First of all, this will be his first. He's been there for several. He's been there for a couple of years now.
About 3
years.
Yeah.
But this will be his first. This will be his first go about where he is.
That he's actually elected. I'll finish your thought for you. But
what? I'll have to look at that later. Garrett could do it. I don't know that Garrett will want to do it. Garrett is a quiet person. He likes to be kind of in the background. Jerry is a great guy. I don't know. I mean,
I
Jerry
think he would do it if they nominated him. I think he would.
I just don't know. I think he probably would do it. Is that what's best for Muncie or for the council? I don't know. I
think it would be only because Jerry has been pushing for the last 2 or 3 years Dan on some of his issues that Dan's been circumventing the council on. He's been speaking out about it, so maybe harsh is what he probably should be, but he has been. So
yeah, I don't want anyone to be president. I'm kind of hoping the roof caves in. I don't really know.
Jerry has been president before.
Yeah, he's been president before. I think it was kind of back in the days where he was like more at 100% speed and less 80% speed. But you know, I guess we'll see. Time will tell.
Right. Well, Jerry's getting ready to retire from Pepsi too, so he's going to have a little bit more time. He retires December from Pepsi because Pepsi's going out in Muncie.
I just feel like someone's like he you know, like when you're going and you're like trying to decide if you're going to be like listening at like 33 1/3 or 75. I think we need to spin the dial up a little bit on him. Yes. I think we've cranked him down low. We need to spin him back up, and
he's like the high guy in the corner. He just sits there and like he's
yes. I love Jerry, but whatever, you know.
Maybe get him some leaded Mountain Dew or something. Let's right. Intravenously feed it to him before the council meeting.
I think that's called meth.
Well, we'll say that, but anyhow.
Anyways, so
wait, is he like the Muncie version of Sleepy Gurton?
His eyes are open. I can say that.
At least. All right, then.
Yeah, at least his eyes are open. But you know, it will be a chill council. It will be a chill council. Listen,
president.
Yeah, if he would be council. Oh God, my stomach already hurts, man. If Nora's president, I do not want her to be president.
Here's my picks.
Yeah.
Down. Nora Powell as president. I think maybe Brandon Garrett or Harold Mason as vice president, and Sarah Gallion as reading secretary.
Well, I'd be okay with 2 of those.
Yep. I think Sarah will make a good reading secretary, I believe. And I made them clear that I think they need to read more of these ordinances than what they're reading.
I didn't like that Jeff gave you pushback on that.
He said, well, this whole thing, I said,
you want us to read this whole thing?
That's what we elected them to do.
Dude, if the meeting takes 3 hours, it takes 3 hours. Like, come on, man. You're here once a month.
Yep, I agree. The tax abatement, the people didn't show up, so that was tabled. So that's a good thing that they tabled that. They voted to fix the budget on a lot of MFD and MPD and elected officials, and I spoke up, and I still got a problem with this. That they give the council a raise, but took it away from them to make them pay for their own training. That'd be like taking the fireman's raise from them and making the firemen pay for their own training. It's just not a good idea to make people pay for their own training when it's it's voluntary anyhow, but you're going to take their money from them. You're going to spend these people's money and not let them have a say. So I hope the new council comes in and changes that, and it comes out of the edit fund like it usually does, or wherever it comes from, general fund or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It's $700 a month or a year, $700, which ain't no money, but still yet. Their training should be paid for the way everybody in the past has been paid for by the city.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying there. Ryan, so I agree with you a majority on that. The one thing is like the reading secretary, all that is somebody that reads. I mean, anybody that's been elected to the council should be able to read. So I don't really care who has that position. I mean, because technically all that position does is read. So, I'm kind of okay with whoever they put in that position. But I mean, listen, I don't consider Nora Powell not being experienced. I mean, Nora Powell, listen, we are mortal enemies, but I'm not dumb. She's experienced. She's more experienced than, I mean, the only person that has more experience than her is Jerry Dishman. But I would put her up against any of them at any point. I'm not saying that she's good. I tend to believe that she uses her, you can use your power for good or you can use your power for evil. And she tends to use her power for evil. But I mean, Sarah Gullion is sharp. If Sarah Gullion wins the challenge, she will be good wherever she goes. Whatever. I hate that she chose not to interview. I don't think that would have made a difference whether she would have won or not.
Well, Chris, here, didn't she tell you if she won that she would do an interview? Maybe time to do an interview.
She did say that. So I might hit her up and be like, well, you won. Now she'll be like, well, you got mad because I wouldn't interview. And I'm going to say, yeah, obviously, Sarah. So, yeah, whatever.
I've talked to her several times. She seems like a decent person, believes in what's right. Matter of fact, she seems like a good person.
I've always thought that before. I like the people that she works with. I think that thought she had a good head on her shoulders. I will always have an issue with anybody that does not choose to speak to the people. And people are free to take that to mean that I'm like, oh, you're not talking to me. It's got nothing to do with me. It's about talking to the people. And I'm always going to have a chip on my shoulder when I ask people to speak to the audience and they say no. I'm going to have a chip on my shoulder with that.
She worked District 4 over pretty hard.
She did. And
of a job for a Democrat not to be in that seat for 30, 40, 50 years, however long it's been.
Yeah.
Hope she isn't drinking the devil's Kool-Aid.
Who said that?
Annie Anonymous.
Yes, I'm worried about that. And
here, I'm gonna give you a little insight of what happened to me on election day. I went over on Morrison Road, and everywhere I stopped and talked to people, I offered the people working at the polls drink a bottle of water. I carry bottled water with me all the time. It's in ice. It's good and cold. And I offered a couple of Dan addicts the Wiggly Wagglies water. And I had one of them ask me, said, "Has it been opened?" I said, "No."
What? That's so weird that she would say that.
The only reason I'm bringing this up is because Anonymous.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Kool-Aid. So I said, "No, but I got some Kool-Aid we can put in it." I'm gone. Then I had another person that was working for a Republican. I offered the Democrat person working a water, and I looked at the Republican. I said, "You need a bottle of water? Are you going to offer that to me?" I said, "Well, hell yes." By the end of the night, guess what? We go home. We're all humans.
Yeah, right.
Stand here
so stupid.
I'll offer you something to drink. I'm not going to offer you my vote, but I'm going to offer you something to drink. I am human. I'm not that big of an asshole.
It blows my mind that these people are that dumb. And for Shireen to be like, is it really? Is it opened?
Has it been opened?
Has it been opened? Yeah, I was running my tongue all up inside it, and I'm going to offer it to you now, you idiot.
Yeah, that's the thing. People's got to realize this is just politics, folks. I may like them on outside of politics. I may not agree with what they say inside of politics, but at the end of the day, we're all human. We all got to live on this world together.
Yeah, right.
Show a little compassion, people. Wow. It's called Hoosier.
I wanted to tell. Yeah, right. I wanted to tell Annie ask where the resolution for the tax abatement. She asked where that was. That is
that was
1250 North Elm Street, Muncie, Indiana. It's
resolution 1823.
Yeah, it's basically behind the police garage on Elm Street, as Elm Street comes up to Granville at the point. You know where I'm talking about, where they keep the police cars,
where they used to have.
Yeah, that's where it's at. And the person asking, give me a second here. I'm going to find this.
How big of a lot is that? Because I never really researched that too much.
Give me 1 second here, and I'll tell you. I haven't looked it up on Beacon yet. I'm going to pull it up on Beacon.
And the reason I had my cane tonight is because Chris kicked my leg yesterday.
Because we're battling.
Yeah, right. Because we're
not really friends.
We're not really friends. I'd say I talk to Chris more on the telephone than I do my wife.
That's probably true.
Don't, Darla, edit that part real quick. Darla.
She knows.
She knows. But you know what? She's the one that brought us together. So
yeah, it's her fault.
It's her fault.
I have Darla to blame for this.
All of it, folks. Everybody sitting here listening tonight, you got Darla to blame for this. Darla talked him into doing them interviews, and them interviews kind of put him on the map, and been with it ever since.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All because of you quit your job at the car dealership and everything.
Yep, it's all
No, wait, you got fired.
I got fired for stealing that $70,000 truck.
Yeah, you got fired.
Okay, give me a second here, and I'm gonna tell you where we're looking here. I'll tell you what we're doing here.
You heard that, Charlize? Well,
what?
You lost a minute. Did you hear Troy's comment? You lost a minute getting up to the podium because your bum leg.
Yes.
Sometimes if I sit in a certain position, that's why I had to get up in the middle of the meeting and go outside in the hallway to stretch my leg, because I don't know if I've got an MRI coming up, and hopefully they find out what's wrong with it. I slipped at work a couple months ago and it just never healed. So
hey, Yoko said Shireen lives in a fantasy world where Dan is a good mayor and people want to roofie her.
Oh yeah. I can tell you what.
That's good,
Now,
Yoko.
when she had the mailroom, My wife made quite a bit of money from that, so we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
She
I know she did.
did. So, you know,
I think she owes my mother like $300.
yeah.
Yeah. Where's your $300 at?
She needs to put a claim in because according to Shireen, that she's paid all of her vendors.
Yeah, right.
So
I'm trying to find
yeah, you're going to ask for a tax abatement, and I liked what Rick said about the money, the ARF money, and all that.
the what? Oh yes.
That some of it needs to go to. He said something about it needs to go to the people. I may go up and ask the mayor if I can have some of it because it affected me. I had to work the whole time. I didn't receive any time off because I was considered an essential worker. And I just want to see if maybe they can help me out a little bit, maybe put new windows in my house. Hell, he gives $600,000 to and give a company a building to put new windows in it and make it a condos that still ain't done.
Yeah.
Who was that long bearded guy sitting in the back of the room? That was that guy that had been arrested by the ATF. That was
Steve Brand.
Stephen Brand. Stephen Brand, or whatever he pronounces it.
He don't seriously do that, does he?
What? Pronounce it Stephen?
Seriously say that?
I don't know.
Gross.
But he was the one that was arrested. He's in charge of he's
sanitary district dude.
Sanitary district right now, yeah. He's the president of the board. I bet he's taking his money now because I heard that he's not working at Magna no more.
I heard that too. I
don't know. Was the building lit up in pink and red tonight, or pink and blue?
I didn't see that. I've not seen it.
I didn't either.
I don't think they're doing. I don't think they've done that.
I don't think they've done that in the last 4 years. Maybe not. But they did have lights on tonight.
Dude, I don't know where in the hell 1250 North Elm Street is. I can't find 1250 North Elm Street on Beacon. I cannot find 1250 North Elm Street on Beacon.
Maybe Dan will sell you his house for $100. Yeah, I'd buy it for $100. Then he'd give me $600,000, and I'll help him move to Indianapolis or wherever he's from in 4 years. Do you believe we got put up with this shit for another 4 years?
Oh, dude, I'm not even trying to think about it. I'm just saying, here's the deal. I'm going straight along with how things have been, and I'm going to throw myself into the county election next year. We're going to be dealing with that, and I'm just going to continue calling Dan out. I listen, I will say I'm very disappointed. On Saturday evening, truth be told, I've just been kind of blah. I've been down. I've been just kind of, this election took some out of me, and with the kidney stone and everything, it's just kind of been blah.
Yeah, and we sat around and cried all day Wednesday.
We sat around and cried all day. And I apologize, folks. I've not been looking at the comments here as much because I've been off on another screen. I've been looking up on Beacon and whatnot, but so I'll go back and read the comments here in a minute. I'm going to try to find this J.
It may be Marhofer.
What?
It may be part of Marhofer. It may be the A1 roofing company there or whatever.
It is. I think it is. Now that you say that.
But Chris, here's my thoughts.
Stupid my phone.
Here's my prediction. Dan is going to be mayor for 4 years. He will not run again in 4 years.
Oh, I don't think that's going to happen.
He'll have his perf money by then because he'll have his 10-year perf. And that way he'll be close to 70 years old. And That way he'll be able to retire and have some kind of retirement, because I would say over the last 30 years as being a banker that, you know, he probably hadn't laid any money back for his 401k and stuff. And then, you know, if he was released from his jobs and stuff, they, you know, I don't know if he rolled it over right or not, but I don't know if he could have kept that when he filed bankruptcy, if he lost all of his retirement at that point or not. I don't know how that works, but he'll have a retirement finally, and I don't know how that works with insurance and stuff after they retire and stuff, if they lose their insurance and stuff from the city, or if they keep it after they get so many years or whatever, however that works.
Okay, pause on this for a second. So I type in JRF Management LLC. So I'm typing in JRF Management LLC into the Indiana Secretary of State business lookup, and it comes up JRF Management LLC. Okay. And so I type that in, and it pops up, and it says JRF Management, Domestic Limited Liability Company. Okay. And it comes back to Ryan Jackson, Joseph Jackson Jr., and the business address for JRF Management is located at 1924 North Elm Street. Well, 1924 North Elm Street is ACR1 Commercial Roofing on Elm Street. When you type in 1250 North Elm Street, it takes you to the lot right behind JRF Management. So I don't know really what the deal is with this, but
I used to work.
What it is.
Yeah, because I'm looking on Beacon too, and you've got 1224 North Elm Street, and then you cross over Highland.
Yeah.
And the next block, the next corner is 1300.
Yeah.
North Elm. So there's, I mean, it's in the middle of Highland apparently for 1250.
Well, no, that's what's weird is really.
Yeah.
It's a lot higher than Highland. It's a lot more north than Highland. That's what's funky.
Just the numbering is weird.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I used to work for a construction company that was out of there back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And there's a road that goes on back in there, I think, that's separate from that Quetzal hut. I think that was an old Quetzal hut type thing. And that building, there was a lot that goes behind it. That's where they're wanting to build that new building, right? They're wanting to build a new pole barn building for their business to store their supplies and stuff in.
Okay.
If I remember that correctly.
Okay. Well,
but
whatever.
Here's the thing. If that's the old Marhofer property, I think Marhofer property is still considered Delaware County. Because I think at one time they couldn't have a slaughterhouse in the city of Muncie. So I think that has always been considered county property and not in the city limits per se, because it was a slaughterhouse at one time. And I don't know
Where's Marhofer at, Audie?
Where was it at?
Yeah.
Right in that area right there. You go up to, what is that? It was between Broadway and Granville, right in that point right there. That was the old Marhofer area in that area right there.
Okay.
You know, am I right, Annie Nominus? Yeah, Annie.
You just say Annie.
Annie, am I right on that? Was that the old Marhofer that I can't pull it up because I got my phone. on
An
my
Amazon facility. It ain't gonna be no Amazon facility.
Well, that's what one of the council person said tonight, that she thought it was going to be a Amazon return, but I thought it was for the
From
guy.
Streeter and Granville to Broadway, yeah, through there. That's right.
And I think, I may be wrong, don't hold me to it, but I think that is considered county property still. I think that because there was something funky back in the 60s and 70s.
It is definitely not county property. I can tell you that for a fact.
Not county owned. It's considered owned in the county.
No, I mean I'm telling you that's not right. They pay property taxes in the city.
Okay.
I'm looking at it. But, yeah.
At the time when it was Marhofer's, that could not be part of the city because they had a slaughterhouse in there, and that goes back to farm animals and stuff like that.
Sure. I don't listen to Roe anymore. Roe maybe said that, but I was too busy listening to her eyes roll around in her head. I was too busy listening to that.
I agree. And I mentioned that tonight, Annie. And I got some kickback because somebody showed a 13-page.
I didn't like that, man. I did not like that Jeff did that. And I guess write ordinances that are shorter.
That's what I said. Don't put the building sizes and all that shit in there. Put just the ordinance, what it pertains to. Let's get down to the nitty gritty on it. Look, this guy's wanting to change the zoning from R4 to R4A so he can build apartments in it. Explain.
Or moreover, there's got to be something between, because listen, I understand it should fall on us a little bit to have to look. Like I look this stuff up. I look everything up. I understand not everybody has. Yeah, it needs to be there needs to be something that's similar. They don't need to make it simple. It doesn't need to make things so difficult that your regular human can't govern. Your regular everyday normal human with a basic level reading comprehension should be able to govern, should be able to participate in the government, and
like Kate said there, make a summary of it, what it's about. They're wanting an abatement for a chicken shack, or they're wanting an abatement for Amazon building, or
the thing is, you should have to say all of the major principal points. And the reason this got brought up, the reason this became big with me, was the Southway Plaza ordeal. When Dan Ridenhour was running around saying brick red solutions, brick red solutions, brick red solutions. And then you go back to the ordinance that this was all discussed in, brick red solutions is nowhere in the ordinance.
They don't even own the place.
Yeah, the owners are Top Star Realty and all this other shit. That is who he needed to be saying. If there was some kind of agreement with Brick Red Solutions to come and lease from Top Star, he could say that. More information is better than not enough information. But when he's running around saying brick red, brick red, brick red, and then you've got citizens that are journalists or pain in the ass people that are going back and looking through stuff, and they're looking for brick red solutions, and there's nothing in here about it. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? So they need to, maybe they don't read the entirety of the ordinance, but they need to read the summary, and they need to talk about all of the moving parts, and it needs to be factually based.
Give the meat and potatoes of it.
Tax abatement for XYZ business at 1250 North Elm Street for an Amazon facility.
Exactly. Something like that. That's what she's saying.
Yeah. Right. And this is who had the property before, and this is who's getting the property now. This is who's asking for the abatement. This is what they plan to do with it. Don't leave any person or any entity out.
And this is how the abatement is set up. It's a
this is how the abatement is set.
5-year abatement. It's a what.
Right.
It's a trickle down, or yeah.
I like to see what the bids should come out on the 17th. I think they're going to open them for the center and crisis and center.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me go to my let me go right quick to my email.
Okay. Because
I got some email to share with you people.
They bid that out and was supposed to bid it out, put it on the same foundation. That foundation's 50 or 60 years old. That ain't going to work.
Well, let me tell you here what happened. I'm going to tell you right here what happened. I'm kind of pissy about it, and we'll see if the city responded. The city should have responded today, but they probably did not. So we'll see. I'm going to go down here and look just to make sure. 958. Okay, we've got to go back through here. Click on this.
Oh,
what?
I don't wish anybody to have knee problems.
What?
I said I don't wish anybody to have knee problems.
I'll take knee problems over kidney problems anytime.
Oh no.
Yes.
No, because once you pass that,
I'll give you the kidney stone, and you'll forget all about that knee.
Well, but once I pass it, it'll be fine.
That's true.
But that may take 2 or 3 days. This is going on for 2 months. So.
Yeah, that is true. I've had knee issues as well, so I hear you. Okay. So
always trying to outdo me, aren't you?
Yes, yes. That damn Audie.
See that? See what kind of friend you really are? Really upset.
Yeah. Okay. So, I want to tell you this. The week before the election, I went over this with you guys. The week before the election, I was sent information about the fact, and we talked about this, and this is something that voters should have took into consideration, that Dan went at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, and said, I want a crisis center. This is going to be wonderful. And I said, no, ladies and gentlemen, this is a campaign stunt. Don't listen to this. He's like, oh, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be wonderful. And then we found out that, Belinda Munson was involved, and Dustin Clark was involved, and $50,000, $60,000, $135,000. The city's paying lots of money for this. The city buys this stupid old used up bar that they're going to turn into a crisis center, does nothing with it for like 9 months, then tells us that the thing is damaged beyond repair because of termites. Now we find out that the thing has to be torn down and rebuilt. All right. So I get all of the bid information on this. And I went over this with all of you guys last week. We went over all of this and did everything with this, and went through all of this stuff. Okay. I then see in the information that I was given, I saw that there was a place that said bid documents for stipulation. Some stipulated sum contract may be obtained in electronic PDF format from the office of the architect by emailing Keith Gary at kgary@his.com. There is no cost for receiving the bid documents electronically. Okay, so guess what I did? Yes. I emailed him and I said, hello, may I get the documents? And the very next day, he sends back an email to me and says, you need to go through the city of Muncie and request these through a records request. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what this thing says. What if I'm wanting to bid on this property? So I send an email. I reply to him. At the same time, I also attach it to Micah, to Adam Leach, and to everyone involved. And I said, Is this the process for everyone that requests this? I didn't see that in the paperwork. If a request is needed, ... Micah, I am requesting this. But again, I want to make sure that this is the process everyone must go through. Well, she sent to me on the next day. No, she sent this to me on, I sent it on Thursday, November 2nd. I'm wanting to get an electronically sent bid packet for the job at 809 West 8th Street. He then sends back to me, you'll have to go through the city, get a records request. I then respond, is this the process for everyone? Blah, 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 blah. Micah then sends back to me, Chris, this has been consistently practiced since I have been in this role. I have pointed this process out to you and answered to this process with you on multiple occasions, in email, over the phone, and in person at my counter. Happy to assist if needed, but please complete the form on muncie.in.gov. Well, okay. Now that you're going to be a smartass, now you're going, you want the bull, you're going to get the horns. So I responded back to, right. Well, kinda. I mean, yes and no. And honestly, attempting to treat me like I'm ignorant when it comes to public access law is not really called for. When it comes to public access laws, I'll stack my understanding up against you or anyone in there any day. That said, when I've been asking for records from you, you're correct. Or moreover, the city, you're correct. The process makes sense. But that is not what I am doing here. I was asking for the bid information from the architect as I was directed to do in the copy of the paperwork that I have. And I will copy that here as well as attach it below. The bid documents can be electronically sent in PDF format from the Office of the Architect by emailing Keith Gary at this email address, just as Section D of the advertisement for bids states. You can see Section D as follows. I then copy and pasted it again. You can also see it below in the attached form. So I did as it said, and when I did so, Mr. Gary then directed me to send a request to the city, which doesn't quite seem like what others contacting him would have to do. So my question was and is that the process that all bidders have to go through? Are you telling me that all bidders have to send through a record request and then go through that process? Because I don't think that's what's going on. Do all bidders submit public document requests, or was Mr. Gary told by someone to tell me to do that? I would like an answer to that question. However, that said, per the Indiana Public Access Record Act, and then I put then, I will not be filling this out on your form. You can consider this a records request. This is now a request for records under Indiana Access to Public Records. I am requesting all documents that are related under the Section D of the advertisement for bids. See attached form below. I also am now requesting all emails to and from Keith Gary, Adam Leach, Dan Ridenauer, or Michael Wilson between the dates of November 2nd, 2023 and November 3rd, 2023. Reference my request to Mr. Gary. I'm also requesting all emails to or from Keith Gary, Adam Leach, Dan Ridenauer between the dates of November 1st, 2022 and November 13th, 2023. Reference the property at 809 West 8th Street, Muncie, Indiana. Sign-in sheet. I'm also wanting the sign-in sheet from the pre-bid meeting that took place on Wednesday, November 8th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. So I've sent that off to them now, and we will wait to see what they send me. But the point of the matter is, they put this bid packet out, and I get it. I'm not a contractor, but
I don't know that.
He didn't know that unless
for a contractor.
What?
They don't know if you're getting it for a contractor.
Yeah, right. They don't have any. They have no idea. I just want the bid packet. So what I'm thinking here is, and this is what's scary, is Keith Gary got my email. He writes back to Adam Leach and says, "Hey, I received this from Kristopher Bilbrey. Do you know who this is?" And Adam Leach says, "No, he's just a pain in the ass. Have him, tell him if he wants it, he can go through the public record request."
Right.
Well, no, that's bullshit. So now I'm going to get their email thread from during this period to see if that happened or not. So we will find out.
Annie, the bot, there was nine proposals on the bot for the fire stations. 9 proposals. Okay. The city, which when I say the city, I mean Aaron Clark and Mayor Ridenauer, chose 3 of those. And one of them just so happened to be the $8 million firehouse, probably the highest bid. I've got a guy that's going to show me the paperwork on that. And I was going to go over there yesterday and didn't get a chance. And I'm going to try to get over there this week.
Ah, yes.
And, but there was 9 proposals for that fire station number 6. Only 3 came up. And out of those 3, one of them was the $8 million proposal. And I believe that's going to be the highest bid on that. So
back up here, Annie. So the request for that was before the pre-bid meeting. The request was actually in prior to them holding the pre-bid meeting, and the paperwork actually says you can get this beforehand. So that shouldn't have stopped anything.
Right.
The pre-bid meeting was at 1:30 Wednesday, and I meant to go to that, but it was after the election and all shit had broken loose.
You was crying with me.
I was crying with Audie separate but equal.
Separately but equally.
Yeah. I want to know who those proposals were and what their proposals were. Yeah.
9 of them. I've got to go get them from a gentleman.
Yeah,
And
no, I was just reading what she wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just responding. I'm going to have them hopefully by the end of the week. I got to go. He said some of them had 15, 16 pages with it.
Jesus.
And so there was 9 of them. So
yeah, that's crazy.
So
The pre-bid meet. What?
Here's the thing: if there's 9 people interested in the bot,
Yeah.
how many interested in doing the fire station without the bot?
Without the bot. Yeah. Right.
And so we can save a lot of money there by bidding it out, because these 9 people, the lower bids are probably going to be more accurate than the $8 million bid.
Well, yeah. No, Annie, the Adam Leach was holding the pre-bid meeting. The engineer, it was being held in. It said that the. Let me tell you what it said.
Chris,
What?
we need to. Will you put in a records request for me?
Yeah.
I want to see Adam Leach's completion of engineering school. I want to see a diploma, something that shows that he has completed engineering school, because I don't know that he has. I don't know that he has completely completed it. And I want to find out, he should be able to provide, since he's calling himself an engineer for the city of Muncie, he's got to be able to prove documentation on it. I just want to see a diploma from the school that he went to that shows he completed engineering school.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I can request that.
That'd be like saying you're a newsman.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Annie, I haven't dug that far into what money's paying for the demolition of it. But they would be better off. Sneak down there. Nah, never mind. Shut up.
What does his LinkedIn? I don't know. I don't have LinkedIn. I can't figure it out. So I don't. I don't screw around with it.
Yeah, I don't look at LinkedIn. I'm requesting a copy of his diploma, of his credentials.
But that would be good to see what that says.
I want to see what engineering license is. Is it in erector sets, Legos? Is it in building construction? Is it in bridge construction? Is it in highway construction?
Yeah.
Because there's different phases of being an engineer. Is it engineer, operating engineer? Hell, I'm an engineer. It's in my title.
Yeah.
I'm an operating engineer, heavy equipment operating engineer.
I just received this in. Somebody said they wanted to know what someone said that it looks like this was an arrest made in Winchester here. And someone said what? Someone said it looks like Aaron Clark took the loss of the election really hard. And they wanted to know if I knew if everything was okay. I was like, I don't know. Someone said, well, please find out if Aaron Clark took how Aaron Clark's doing, because it appears as though he may have took the loss of the election really hard. So
he said hi to me.
I don't know.
Was he arrested? Oh, yep.
It looks like he took. I don't know what the hell this is, but I sure hope that's not the Aaron Clark. You saw he was at the he didn't look like this at the meeting tonight, did he? It's hard to see from my vantage point.
It may be him. I don't know.
Jesus, that's scary. And that's not like a joke. That gentleman's name is Aaron Clark. Yeah, okay. So he's got PE after his name. So unless he's lying, which surely to God he's not doing that. I mean, I don't believe he would be doing that. Then he's good to go.
I just want to make sure.
Sure. I get it.
But it ain't like this administration hasn't misled.
Yeah, right. But I think that would be a major deal.
Is that
for him to have PE? What?
Physical educator?
Yeah, no. That would be professional engineer. But I'm
a professional engineer.
I will. No, I mean that's a specific degree that I don't think they would be lying about that, but I can definitely find that information out. I don't have a problem doing that.
Well, if not, big deal.
What?
Since we're not that close of friends and stuff, I don't know if I did.
Right.
Yeah. Well, my wife makes some fire ass candy.
Oh God, are you eating that rock candy? Yeah.
Cinnamon, baby. Yeah. Woo.
He's masters of civil engineering. See, my brother went to Purdue for chemical engineering and biomedical engineering. And then he was in the oil field he was in the oil industry for about 12 years. And then he went back to school and became a professional engineer and went into the military and is in the Seabees. He's a Navy Seabee.
Masters of Civil Engineer.
So yeah, getting that PE is tough.
I know that's tough getting that, but I don't know that man's smart enough to get that. I don't know. Maybe he's book smart and common sense dumb. I don't know.
I just don't know. I mean, the problem, I'll be honest, I think the problem is there's some kind of crazy infatuation with Steve Selvey. And I don't know why. If Steve Selvey would retire, that Adam Leach would probably leave Muncie. But if that Steve Selvey, if they could break Adam Leach and Steve Selvey up, Adam Leach would probably be better at his job. Quite honestly. What?
Are they that tight?
Dude, that guy does not. He is attached at the hip with him. All he does is sit in his office, and they go out and they take breaks together. They go to lunch together. They're always together. It's weird.
I don't know.
Kinda
I didn't
like
know.
Steve, Adam, and Gretchen. Just kind of. Maybe they're going to Belize together. I wonder if Selvey and Cheeseman will stay for the second term. I wonder about that. I've heard that neither one of them have been keen on the idea of staying for the second term. But
Who's that? Selvey and Cheeseman?
yeah,
We'll see.
they push their desks together. Cut a hole out underneath.
Hey, they're grown adults over there.
Yeah, dude. It's whatever what two grown adults like doing behind a closed door at City Hall is their own. That's yeah. I've heard that too.
I would say I know the reason. Nah, just shut up, Audie.
I've heard the Belize story as well. And whatever. It'll be interesting. So my question is, do we now keep it going? The tally of how many people he's lost as department heads, or does it start over?
No, it continues on.
Does it start over? Like in January, does he reset? Okay, these are my department heads, and now it resets. How many department heads he loses in this next term?
I think it's a continuous term, so I think they should continue the tally.
Because most of the department heads you would think he would retain into his second term. So it just keeps on going.
It just keeps on going.
Yep.
Keeps on rolling. Well, I'm telling you this right now, and I'm going to give you some maybe breaking news.
And when we get behind closed doors.
I want to say this. That and it seems as if the police department backs Dan Ridenhour.
Yeah.
I was contacted by a high-ranking police official from MPD. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm telling you guys. So how the police world here in Muncie works is you have a patrolman, you have a sergeant, you have lieutenant, you have captain, and then you have deputy chief. And obviously, most of the department are patrol officers. So you either have patrol level officers that are uniformed, or you have patrol level officers that are detectives, but they still carry the silver or nickel shield badge. When you go to sergeant, you get a gold badge, and then lieutenant is a gold badge, captain is a gold badge, and deputy chief and chief are gold badges. So when you look at the department, the majority of the department are patrol officers. Then sergeants, there's several sergeants, and they're the leadership of the patrolmen. And then the lieutenants, are leadership of the sergeant and the patrolmen, and the captains do that. And it breaks down like a tree, and you get fewer and fewer as you go up, to the point that we have 2 deputy chiefs. We don't need 2 deputy chiefs in Muncie, but we have it anyways.
I will say this, Chris.
Yeah.
They have 2 deputy chiefs.
Yeah.
I do know that the chief and the deputy chiefs are sometimes out on the road on Sundays and stuff. I've seen them out there. Even when there's no murders and stuff, I've seen them out there patrolling because they're low on
they're low and short, and that might very well be. I'm just telling you, before the election, about 4 days before the election, I was contacted by a high ranking, and so I just want to let you be sure. I'm not talking about patrol, and I'm not talking about a sergeant. So you can now guess in your mind if I'm talking about a lieutenant or a captain or hell, a deputy chief.
Are you
You
talking?
can decide.
You may be talking about somebody in the gold ranking.
Well, they're definitely a gold ranking. I'm specifically talking about somebody that has a gold shield, and just FYI, it's not a sergeant. So take with that what you will. So we're talking about lieutenant, captain, or deputy chief, and they have stated that the department is in very dire straits with their morale. They are doing all right money wise. They're really starting to get new people in. The training is really good, but this high ranking official who is a conservative, who's not I'm not talking about someone that's Democrat
or she,
he or she wanted to express that they hoped like crazy that Dan did not win re-election. They did not know about Jeff Robinson. They felt that Jeff could be just as bad, but they knew that they needed someone other than Dan because, and this is what they said, the department is doing horribly under this current leadership. They're not happy with the chief. They are not happy with the chief's directions, and that they are very concerned with where the department has been heading.
Wow.
They can scour away because this was a way that this was as clean of a contact as possible. And I wouldn't be talking. If you notice, I didn't say this before the election because I wanted to put enough time between it so that everything could be taken care of. Yeah, do Spillman check in a couple weeks. We don't have Spillman in Muncie.
But here's the thing too, Chris, that if they come down on this person too hard, if they do find out who it is,
they won't be able to.
I know they won't be able to, but if they do, I'm sure if that person's in the upper brass like that, I'm sure they've got enough time to retire and tell you, piss off.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I just think it's interesting that what this person had to say to me goes against everything that we have heard for the last 3 years. That it's all been that the department backs Ridenhour, the department loves Ridenhour, and it's not even really a Ridenhour thing because most of the police aren't political. They don't give a shit who the mayor is. It doesn't have any bearing on them. What he or she was specifically saying was that the leadership of the police department is in a bad way. They're just saying that there's not faith in the leadership, that the leadership is, they've got people that there's training and the training is good and people are good under the with the training, but what these officers are having to deal with because of various protocol that the chief has put in place is not good
because
what
they're not allowed to let them be police officers.
And exactly. That's the reason I'm saying this is because you hit on this months ago before this ever had happened. And they said basically what had happened was the crime in Muncie that we're all dealing with. And we're saying like, oh my God, this is crime. Like what's happening? It's rising. this person, and unfortunately, I can't get into too much specifics because it would start to divulge who this person would be. It's
And,
just leave it with this. We'll
and
say that, yeah,
what specifically they're not letting them be police
they're
officers.
not letting them be police officers.
They can't do nothing. They can't handcuff anybody or help the state police out in police chases. And
One of the biggest things I heard was, and maybe the department needs to develop an intel unit. Muncie doesn't have an intel unit, a criminal intel unit. Like a lot of bigger cities have departments that do that just they're out there and they're like undercover to run. And we don't have that enough manpower to do that. What they used to do is they used to use the drug task force to do that. And the drug task force used to have a lot of other information that would help either stave off murder, or if there was, unfortunately, or horribly, a murder. A lot of drug intel could get, hey, we're hearing through the grapevine that this is who did it, so and so. They got rid of the gun here. This is what they're doing. And that was able to really help build a lot of cases. And they would use the basically the narcotics unit as the intel officers.
Mhm.
And the way that they have handcuffed the drug task force right now is what is causing a lot of contention within the police department.
And Alva, here's the thing. You've got 105 members. So when the new administration came in, some of the people that was involved with the union are now the leaders of the department. So they've got it mixed back and forth where you got political people that's wanting to be chief and assistant chief and all that. And they used to be in charge of the union, and they don't get the backing from the union because the guy in charge of the union now, he 100% Nate Sloan.
The other thing is, it's very much like a Sproles situation, where Sproles has hired in so many young kids underneath him that these kids as newbies are hanging on every word this idiot says.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by Nate Sloan is they're worried about getting lawsuits. They're worried about being sued.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, right. But
and maybe that goes back to the past practice of the 4 or 5 or 10 police officers that were bad apples. Now they got to worry about those guys. You know what I'm saying? The ones that would beat up on people.
I didn't hear what you said. You said that looks back to what?
It goes back to maybe the bad apples that used to be on the department that aren't there no more, and they're still
sure. Yeah, that's what their fear is.
That's what their fear is.
The leadership, but
they got to.
But the problem is they're breeding this culture of having these new officers coming in, and the new officers are hanging on the words of the chiefs and the deputy chiefs and the people that are directly under them that are close to them. And so you're getting this culture of people who've been on for a tick are having issues with what's going on, but the newbies coming in are like, oh, the chief is cool. And so it's this really weird situation, and there's just a lot of contention. And that is something that is just something that is been a problem and is going to be a problem until this leadership is out of the department.
Right. And it's I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't I don't even think that the police officers have radar detectors in their cars anymore. I don't think anybody in the city of Muncie gets pulled over for speeding.
Oh, wait a minute.
By a state trooper.
Yeah. So Muncie has not, just the regular patrol car has never had a radar unit. Muncie used to have a traffic unit.
Right.
To my knowledge, they've done away with the traffic unit. We still have officers that have crash reconstruction expertise.
Right.
But they don't have, gone is Chris Kirby and Qualls, and like there used to be a crash Watkins. There was a crash reconstruction, a crash or a traffic unit who it used to say on the side of the car, traffic unit on the side. And they're the ones that had the radar units. They're the ones that did the OWIs. If your regular patrolman pulled over an OWI, they'd call for a traffic car to come over and take the rest of the stop. And that would allow the radio car to get back into taking radio.
Right.
And so
they got too many people in the office to do that anymore.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me tonight.
All right.
We can become friends again.
Hopefully we will.
Go ahead and I'll let you finish the show. I'm going to get off here and get ready to go to bed because I got to go.
Right. Yeah, have a good one, Audie. Thank you much. Out. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Audie Barber. So yeah, that's the thing. And so I mean, I hate that. I kind of alluded to that, but I just wanted enough time to pass because I wanted to definitely protect a source. And hopefully this person will be a source from here on out, because they were definitely providing a lot of information. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I know that everybody looks at Nate Sloan as the, Boy Scout. I have said for a while, I would be interested to see what someone who would become mayor, what it would do to bring a very experienced law enforcement officer from outside of the department. For so long, Muncie has had a candidate running for mayor, and so some police officer attaches to that person and is their number one man, number two man. And so then when that person becomes mayor, they were like, well, we're going to name you police chief. And what I've said for so long is I would like to see a mayor come in and appoint somebody, appoint a former trooper, appoint someone from IMPD, appoint somebody from, Evansville or some department the same size as Muncie or bigger, who've dealt with a lot of stuff and who could come in and doesn't have the ties to the department. And there are pros and cons to that. There are pros to the chief knowing his department intimately, but there are also cons to that as well. And there are pros to having someone coming in. Police are police. You got a police officer that's retired from Evansville Police Department, and you bring him or her up here, and him or her or the chief of police, they're going to love their police officers up here, because that's just the thin blue line. That's what happens. Oh, that is not what I had in mind. A lot of people, when I said that, a lot of people said, yeah, right now I could do that to Dave Smith. And I said, I'll put it to you this way. I would rather Dave Smith Dave Smith had more expertise at economic development than he did to be the police chief. I know he was a retired trooper, but he's not the kind of trooper I was talking about. They have lost a gigantic amount of experienced officers. Watch the drug task force try and rob my pot dealer of his money. Rob a pot dealer. My pot dealer is probably accurate. But the last Boy Scout. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll out of here. Today is Monday. I hope you guys have had a great day. Hope you had a good start to the week. Tomorrow, we're going to really start diving into the county and the solar project and what's coming up. Of course, that's coming next week. I do want to put this up here real quick before 1 second. I should have added it earlier, but I did not get it added. Important meetings. I do want to post this up here. Just FYI for the solar issue. We do have a Board of Works meeting on Wednesday of this week. We do have a Muncie Redevelopment Commission meeting on Thursday of this week. I'm going to be dealing with both of those. But as far as the solar deal, we have important meetings coming up, important upcoming meetings for those concerned about the solar farms in Delaware County. Monday, November 20th, 2023 at 9 a.m., Delaware County Commissioners meeting. And Tuesday, November 21st, 2023 at 9 a.m., Delaware County Council meeting. After the show last night, when I was talking about Ryan Webb posting his letter to the public that he had sent out to everyone. I thought he had done that, but he apparently had not. But after the show, he thought, that might not be a bad idea. And he did, in fact, post it. So 4 hours ago, he posted my email to the Delaware County Council President, Jessica Piper, and Council Vice President, Bill Hughes, and Council Attorney, Ben Freeman, as well as to each of the other county council members regarding the tax abatement for the solar farms. 1 week later, I haven't had any responses from any of my fellow council members, but did get a response from our council attorney, Mr. Freeman. And so he did put this out here. And so let me see down here what we get. I hate when they do that. So he did post that on there. That is there along with the web page to Delaware County Council debates rescinding the Meadow Forge abatement, but doesn't. That was from last year. So they said they wanted to wait until everything was done. Everything's been done. And now here this is. So again, there's two important meetings coming up. Monday, November 20th at 9 a.m., Delaware County Commissioners. Tuesday, November 21st at 9 a.m., Delaware County Council. We'll be there and keep you guys posted. We'll have a lot to say about that, and we'll be diving into that tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please help share the word, spread the show with everyone you know. Don't be a Debbie Downer like the lady I got. Remember, it's great to listen to this. It's great to listen. But if you're not helping to spread the message or spread the word, I would like for you to spread the message and spread the show. But even if you don't spread the show, at least talk to people about what you're hearing. Talk to people about what you're thinking, whether you agree or disagree. If you agree with what I'm saying, spread that word. If you disagree with what I'm saying and you have your own thoughts, still talk to people about that. That's important because let me tell you something. You tuning in here every night and listening and being like, yep, that makes sense, and then not talking to anybody about it and going and voting, that does nothing. We have to spread the word. The point of the game is to get people more involved. I guess everyone says, oh, you only care about clicks and views. Maybe I'm going to start saying, yeah, I do. I only care about clicks and views. Obviously, that's not true. I just want to help spread the message. And so when people bitch at me because they vote and that's not the magic sauce, well, my question is, did you tell other people? Did you make your signature in your text message, hey, next Tuesday's election day, vote for these 3 people? Did you send that on social media? Did you spend any time posting about that on social media? You got to answer those questions. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Until then, take care. God bless. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Goodbye. So Audie Barber. I hate that guy.